Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back, guys, and thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the support. If you like what you see here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Got an unusual one here. Very interesting, actually, and this is why I like taking subscriber submissions, because it's not always the same old thing. We've got the oldie but goodie here with Wanderjar. Well, not Wanderjar, but the tank. I don't know how old Wanderjar is. Maybe he is an oldie but goodie. But the tank is the T-54, often referred to as the Heat 54. And he is certainly carrying a lot of heat. But we'll watch what actual ammo he uses because it's very interesting. Maybe a little foreshadowing there. One thing I would mention for Wanderjar is I would definitely be running an automatic fire extinguisher if you're going to run a fire extinguisher. They are actually cheaper in the long run because they will reduce the number of fires that you get. They automatically kick off, so you won't get any kind of module or crew damage, which is going to force you to use more consumables. It's interesting that it's a little bit counterintuitive. But anyway, my 2 cents, if you're fast enough with the automatic, you won't get hurt too much. But really, for my money, because of the reduction of chance of fire, that the large ones are actually in the long run worth more. Plus, you get so many free ones. I don't know. You probably have a bunch of them built up, I would imagine, depending on how much you play. So he's spawned. He hasn't launched anything. He spawned into Corellia on assault down here, or up here in the north spawn on the east side. Interesting thing here. So he turns immediately. You can see that it's a tier 10 battle. He's middle tier, and he's one of the best tanks over here. There's a light tier 9 himself and a 704, and I guess the WZ-132. No, that's actually a tier 8. What he does is he immediately turns around. He's thinking about probably processing what's going on, turns and heads this away. So like I said, the cool thing about all you guys subscribing who have different play styles is you get to see different things and how they work or don't work. So he says north is effed. Well, I will say this, Wanderjar, it is now. but we made a decision and we're going to head up here, so let's see what he's doing with his camera. Link 6x6 comes across. In his note to me, he said, hey, I saw that the north was in trouble because all of our 10s were down in the south, basically. This is paraphrased. So I decided to bail out and go do some sniping or try to counter a wheel tank assault, which the WZ-132 managed to deal with, and now we're up here sniping. He says I flexed to sniping. That's right, flexed. I'm going to keep using that word. Sorry, Carde. Let me just throw that out there. And they're sniping the snot out of the heavy tanks who are all of a sudden running around and scurrying like rats because the WZ was able to get in there and get some good spotting. And that's why a good scout who can get down to the middle can be very effective on this map or very dead. I don't particularly like going down there as a scout. It's so easy to get killed out quickly, but if you can make it happen like the WZ did, he's doing some good work and he's got them pretty much stuffed. So you'll see that Wanderjar comes over here, and when you crossed across that little opening there, I went, ooh, don't do that. See that little V right there? I said there's very likely one of their scouts somewhere in this area here, or somebody with just enough spotting on the edge, and it looks like they saw you right there. So we'll back out. The interesting thing also about this game is for some reason, and this just happens sometimes in a match, Wanderjar really gets ignored as he wanders around a little bit in the open on occasion and lit. So just kind of watch when you see his sixth sense go off, and then just notice that the enemy team is really busy at this point, and he is not the center of attention in a couple cases here. So he's going to come this way. He just drives basically off the front edge of this, but most of their tanks are either camping too far back or busy otherwise right now. So he just drives right off that thing lit, comes around the corner, and I believe he's probably still lit in here as well. But we'll see if his sixth sense goes off again. There's a Grillet sitting there, the STB and the Pershing over on the other side. And really we're just able to, for some reason, go right up the middle here. He does a lot of auto aim. This is something I talk about occasionally as well. I'm not a huge fan of that much auto aim, but it definitely works out for him. He's got the ability to do it and the skill to do it, and you'll notice that he does it several times to quite a good effect. So we'll move up here, and he just does a really nice job of getting rid of the T-49, and he had to get rid of that guy. That guy's the one that was lighting him. That gives him a lot more freedom of movement on this front edge right here. So he pushes right through the middle. Kind of unusual, but good on him, made it happen. And now the Pershing's rocking back and forth, and look at that, just nicely sticks one right into the turret. Then he finds an STB who is unaware, at least at this point, that he's there. puts a shot into that guy. Now he is aware. And he moves over here, and this is a great position to fight from, especially if there's not too many of them up top, which the rest of his team is taken care of. Sneaks another one in there. That was unbelievable. He's getting a lot of good RNG right here. And he just completely, just, holy cow. He just draws first on the poor STB. Turns around, he's got a grill sitting there. He noted in his message that he made a little bit of a mistake right here, not assessing exactly where the grill was. Right now he's thinking, okay, I got this rock covering us. So there's a grill there. There's a bunch of guys up to his right. There's a T-34, so he comes up here to get a shot, gets one, backs up, and just backed up enough, right? And that's an interesting thing because it's kind of a standard reaction for people to shoot when they're being looked at and backing up, right? He came out for that little edge there, got a shot. The T-34 is looking at him. He backs up, and he just backed up just enough to get hit by the grill right there. So he's going to come in again, looking for a shot. Bounces, nice job. And there's that backup again. See how that made the T-34 hit into the front of his armor? Another what looked like an auto-aim shot right there. Now he moves up. Remember when I talked about what kind of ammo he's using? Look what he shot. Complete AP the whole time. Didn't really run into anything that had a whole bunch of armor yet. There is a 257, and there is a Panzer 7 as well. Remember the Panzer 7 was spotted up there in the north. It actually sat on cap for quite a long, no, sorry, not cap, but spawn. Where it spawned, it seemed to be sitting right there on the top of that hill for a very long time. So they're driving around looking for this. There's the 257 now. He's close to 100%. I guess he's 2/3. And there's the Panzer 7, who essentially took his tier 10 tank and hung out up on that ridge the whole time. And that really is a recipe for disaster. If the enemy team is any kind of aggressive, you're going to have a bad day doing that kind of thing. Looks like he actually did. Yep, he tracked. So nicely done. One thing to note on that when you come in and ram someone, if you get to the edge of their track, you have a pretty good chance, especially if you're a low tank like this, of actually tracking them, and then you've got that assist damage going on as well. And he's on his last AP shell. So no kidding, 4,000 damage, 4 kills. I think he adds a little more damage in here maybe. All with AP. Abandons a flank, goes to the middle sniping hill, comes straight across the middle. I mean, his RNG just absolutely loves him today. And that sometimes you have those games, you got to take advantage of it. Gets another shot in, 4,351 damage, 3,214 assists. What a massive game. This is only a class 1. I'll show you the results at the end. That was pretty surprising to me. Some of those shots were long range, and he shot some tier 8s along the way. But still, that was a big game, man. But I wanted to feature it here. I'm glad he sent it in, because if I'd have taken this without any of the essay about how it was going or how it happened or what the end result is, let's put it that way. Say you just gave me this replay and said, here, look at this. I'd have been very critical of the initial decision to bail out of the north and not help your guys up there, to go to the middle and snipe, to drive straight across the middle. But it's all in context. And the good news is, basically, his team rumple stomped these guys, right? So it's possible, there's an argument to be made that no matter what he did, they probably would have won. When the enemy Panzer 7, the best tank, just sits in the back and essentially does nothing until the very end and dies, that they were put at a huge disadvantage to begin with. And his team just outplayed their team on every flank. Didn't matter what tanks were there, to be quite honest. However, he looked at the situation, he made a decision, and then he stuck with it, and he gobbled up 4,351 damage and 3,214 assists by applying what he was doing to that actual situation. And yeah, there's some RNG and some luck, but that's how it always goes when you've got a big game like that. It's not pure skill in this game. There is a lot of RNG. There is a portion of luck, and I will say, not luck as in things are just all going my way, but luck as in the whole match, right? What's happening on the match. My team was good enough. They got a big advantage. They started to steamroll. But if you look at the rolls down there, there's a lot of guys alive, and there's not a lot of guys with 4,351 damage. So you apply what you are looking at, you leverage the luck, the matchmaker, the RNG, everything else. And if you come out with a result like this, I would say that's the skill part. That's the skill part. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate that. Wanderjar, thanks for sending that in, man. That was interesting. I will tell you, I watched that and I went, I have no idea what's happening here, but I have no argument with the result. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will see you.